Hello my beloved student. Today we are discussing hybridization part 2 chemical bonding lecture. In our previous discussion we discussed hybridization part 1 where there is sp3, sp2 and sp hybridization. Now we are introducing d orbital with s and p orbital, and we have 4 types of possibilities. As I said earlier that hybridization is one of the most crucial and interesting and excellent discussion in chemical bonding, and we will discuss it very excellently and very simply. So let us see the combination of S, P and D orbital to form four types of possibilities. DsP2 hybridization where coordination number is 4, the geometry is square planar. There is a double star means we will discuss this hybridization in the latter part of chemical bonding lecture in the field of valence bond theory. Okay. Now in the second case we have sp3d hybridization. Definitely there is coordination number 5, 3, as I said earlier, the total number of orbital 3 p orbitals, 1 s orbital and 1 d orbital. So total is 5. So definitely coordination number is 5, and the geometry is trigonal bipyramidal. And what about the ideality? This be the ideality. There is a 5 bond pair of electron and 0 lone pair of electron. Okay. It means there are certain non-ideality. We will discuss it in latter part of chemical bonding lecture. Now our third classification, that is sp3d2 or d2sp3 hybridization. Obviously coordination number 6. D2sp3 hybridization having a double star, it means we will discuss it in latter part of chemical bonding lecture in the field of valence bond theory. Here we obviously discuss sp3d2 hybridization. If you have sp3d2 hybridization or d2sp3 hybridization, in that case geometry is octahedral. And what about ideality? Ideality means there is 6 bond pair of electron and 0 lone pair of electron. Okay. And the last one, that is sp3d3 hybridization, that is coordination number 7. Obviously 3 and 1, obviously 7. The geometry is pentagonal bipyramidal. And about the ideality, that is 7 bond pair of electron and 0 lone pair of electron. Okay. So as I told you that in case of dsp2 hybridization, we will discuss it in our latter part of chemical bonding lecture. It means in the case of valence bond theory. So straight away we are introducing sp3d hybridization. This will be the sp3d hybridization. Let us take an example. The compound is PCl5. Phosphorus is in ground state, having this type of electronic configuration. This is neon. Total number of electron is 10, and after 10 we know that atomic number of phosphorus is 15. It means total number of electron is 15. After neon it is 5. It means 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. This will be the ground state electronic configuration of phosphorus. Now about the excited state electronic configuration of phosphorus, neon. There is a excited, one electron is excited from 3s to 3d. So you have 3s1, 3p3, 3d1. So by the combination of 3s, 3p and 3d, you have sp3d hybridization. So now the new produced orbital is a hybrid orbital which is known as sp3d orbital, and each of these orbital are considered to be sp3d hybridization. Okay. As I told earlier that this will be the new orbital where the characteristics of this orbital are neither similar to s, p or d orbital. It's a new orbital having new characteristics. Now let us see the geometry. Regarding geometry, the geometry is trigonal bipyramidal. This be the trigonal bipyramidal geometry where central element is phosphorus and the terminal element is chlorine. These two bonds are known as axial bond, and these bonds are known as equatorial bonds. You have new concept of the naming of bonding, that is axial bond and equatorial bond. Okay. Now the figure is quite like this. It's quite clear from this figure that the equatorial bond, between equatorial and equatorial bond there is 120-degree angle, and between axial and equatorial bond there is a 90-degree angle. Okay. Now what are the detailing? Phosphorus is less electronegative than chlorine, so phosphorus becomes a central atom. 5 chlorine atom will be the terminal atom. PCl5 is a non-polar substance due to the symmetrical distribution of the electron region. Electron region distribution means you can clearly see from this figure that there is an angle 120 degree between equatorial and equatorial bond. So considering the equatorial bond, the dipole moment is 0, and obviously considering the axial bond, the dipole moment is 0. So overall net dipole moment in case of PCl5 obviously 0. That's why PCl5 is a non-polar substance. Okay. Now what about the orbital picture? This be the orbital picture of PCl5. Here the 5 hybrid orbital, that is the 5 sp3d hybrid orbital of phosphorus overlap with the p orbital of chlorine to produce 5 sigma bonds. These are the 5 sigma bonds. Obviously 5 bond pair of electrons, 1 2 3 4 5, and there obviously there is no lone pair, it means 0 lone pair, and the coordination number is 5. This is very beautiful orbital picture of PCl5, very crucial and excellent and interesting. Okay, now we will discuss sp3d2 hybridization. Let us see. Now we will discuss sp3d2 hybridization. The given compound is SF6. As we see earlier that SF6 is an example of expansion of octet. There is exception of octet rule. Okay, now see the example. Sulfur, atomic number 16, in ground state, it's neon, it's 10 electron. After 10 we have 6 electrons, so 3s2 3p4. This will be the ground state electronic configuration of sulfur. Since sulfur is the central element, we have to consider the hybridization of sulfur. Now what about the excited state electronic configuration? This will be the excited state electronic configuration of sulfur. Neon 3s1 3p3 3d2. So total number of orbital 1 2 3 4 5 6. The total number of 6 orbital, it means 3s 3p and 3d are combined to produce a new hybrid orbital, that is sp3d2 hybrid orbital, and total you have 6 sp3d2 hybrid orbital. Since the hybridization sp3d2, definitely coordination number 6, and considering coordination number 6, the geometry obviously octahedral. This be the picture of octahedral geometry. These two are the axial bond and these are the equatorial bond, and this is the figure 3-dimensionally explain the structure of SF6. As I told earlier, this type of representation is known as flying wedge representation or wedge dash representation. In this case, these bold lines are in the plane of the paper, and this dotted line below the plane of the paper, and these two lines are above the plane of the paper. This is actually the wedge dash or flying wedge representation, where the length of the axial bond is 156.4 picometer, and the angle obviously between axial and equatorial bond is 90 degree. Okay, so obviously it's a non-polar molecule. Let us see the orbital picture. In case of orbital picture, this be the orbital picture. The 6 sp3d2 hybrid orbital overlap with 6 p orbital of fluorine atom to produce SF6 molecule, and this be the orbital picture. There is 6 bond pair of electron, 1 2 3 4 5 6. There is lone pair, obviously lone pair is 0, and coordination number is 6. About the detailing, SF6 is a non-polar molecule. As I said earlier, sulfur is less electronegative, so considered as a central atom, and 6 fluorine atom is the terminal atom. So this be the SF6 molecule where hybridization is sp3d2. Okay, very interesting and very crucial and excellent. Now we will discuss our next segment, that is sp3d3 hybridization. In case of sp3d3 hybridization, let us take a compound that is IF6, coordination number 7. So iodine, atomic number 53, ground state electronic configuration krypton 4d10, now 5s2 5p5. About the excited state electronic configuration of iodine, krypton 4d10, 5s1 5p3 and 5d3. Now considering all the 5 orbitals, it means 5s 5p and 5d, they are combined to produce sp3d3 hybrid orbital. Okay, so IF7 having iodine sp3d3 hybridization, total number of orbital 7, and all the orbital are newly produced orbital which are sp3d3 orbital. Okay, or sp3d3 hybridization. Now what about the geometry? Geometry is pentagonal bipyramidal. This be the geometry of pentagonal bipyramidal. Okay, where axial bond length is 179 picometer. The angle between axial and equatorial bond is 90 degree obviously. The angle between equatorial bond is 72 degree, and the length of equatorial bond is 186 picometer. these are just a routine information. And what about the 3D structure? This will be the 3D structure of IF6. These two are the bond which are in the plane of the paper. Sorry, these three, 1, 2, 3, and these two bonds are above the plane of the paper, and these two bonds are the below the plane of the paper. So this is the three-dimensional representation. The representation is known as flying wedge or wedge dash representation. Now what about the orbital picture? This will be the orbital picture where 7 sp3d3 hybrid orbital of iodine overlap with the p orbital of fluorine to produce 7 sigma bond. These are the 7 sigma bond where you have 7 pair of electrons, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the molecule is pentagonal bipyramidal. What about the detailing? IF7 has 7 bond pair and 0 lone pair of electron. Obviously, central iodine atom undergo sp3d3 hybridization. Pentagonal bipyramidal be the geometry of the molecule. IF7 is non-polar. Okay, so these are all about the ideal hybridization considering s, p and d orbital. In our previous discussion, we discussed sp3, sp2 and sp hybridization. It was very excellent discussion. Now in this lecture we are discussing, so now we are seeking some trick. It's an excellent trick, student. From this trick you can easily identify the hybridization of the central element in a molecule. I am telling you, student, it's an excellent trick. So by doing this trick you can easily identify the hybridization of the central element in a given molecule. So first we have to consider a table. This be the table where it is CN, coordination number, hybridization and geometry. As I told earlier, if the coordination number is 2, hybridization SP, geometry is linear. Coordination number 3, hybridization SP2, geometry is planar or triangular planar. Coordination number 4, hybridization SP3, DSP2 we will discuss it later as I told you. If you have SP3 hybridization, it is tetrahedral geometry. If you have DSP2 hybridization, it is square planar geometry. Now coordination number 5, SP3D hybridization, geometry trigonal bipyramidal. Coordination number 6, SP3D2 or D2SP3 hybridization, geometry octahedral. Coordination number 7, SP3D3 hybridization, pentagonal bipyramidal geometry. So now we are discussing, we are looking for the excellent trick from which we can easily identify the hybridization of the central atom in a molecule within a second. It's an excellent trick. So from this trick we know a formula. That formula, or rather from that formula we can easily identify the coordination number, or we can easily calculate the coordination number. If we know the coordination number, definitely we have the hybridization as well as the geometry of the molecule. So let us see the formula. Coordination number is equals to number of atom attached plus number of lone pair. This will be the simple formula. Let us see some example from which we can apply the application portion of this formula. CH4, the central atom is carbon. So definitely we have to calculate the hybridization of carbon. Carbon, number of atom attached is 4. So there is no lone pair of electron, it's 0. So Cn is 4, hybridization is sp3. Now the question is, how do you know that there is no lone pair? If there is any way from which we can identify the number of lone pair, definitely there is a way. Let us see that way. H2O, we have to identify the hybridization of oxygen atom. Valence electron of oxygen, we know that oxygen is an element of group 16, so valence electron is 6. So number of lone pair is the number of valence electron minus number of bonds. Okay, so in case of H2O there is 2 bond between oxygen and hydrogen, so 6 minus 2 by 2, so it's 4 by 2, it's 2, so there is 2 lone pair. So Cn is number of atom attached is 2, number of lone pair is 2, so total 4, hybridization is sp3. Very excellent, an interesting trick. Let us see IF6. As we discussed earlier that the hybridization of IF7, as I discussed earlier that the hybridization of IF7 is sp3d3. Let us prove it. The valence electron of iodine, we know that iodine is an element of group 17, so valence electron obviously 7. So number of lone pair number of valence electron minus number of bonds, 7 minus 7 by 2, 0. So there is no lone pair of electron, so Cn is 0. It means number of atom attached is 7 and the number of lone pair is 0, so total is 7. So obviously Cn is 7, the hybridization is sp3d3. Now we have another very interesting example, that is xenon oxyfluoride XeO2F2. Now valence electron of xenon, all we know that xenon is an element of group 18, so valence electron obviously 8. So number of lone pair, valence electron minus number of bonds mean there is 4 bonds between xenon and oxygen. Each oxygen form 2 bonds with xenon, so there is 2 oxygen, so total number of bonds between oxygen and xenon is 4, and in between xenon and fluorine there is 2 bonds, so total number of bonds is 6. 8 minus 6 by 2, so 2 by 2 it's 1. Okay, so lone pair is 1, so Cn is 4 plus 1, 4 be the number of bonds or number of atom attached, not number of bonds, sorry, number of atom attached. Number of atom attached means 2 oxygen atom, 2 fluorine atom, so total number of atom is 4 plus number of lone pair is 1, so its Cn is 5, so hybridization is sp3d. Okay, I repeat it once again. Xenon oxyfluoride, xenon is an element of group 18, so valence electron is 8. Number of lone pair, the valence electron minus number of bonds, so total number of bonds in between oxygen and xenon there is 4 bonds, because each oxygen atom form double bond with xenon, so in between oxygen and xenon there are 4 bonds, and in between fluorine and xenon there are 2 bonds, so total number of bonds is 6. So number of valence electron minus total number of bond by 2, it means 2 by 2 it's 1. So Cn is number of atom attached, 2 oxygen atom, 2 fluorine atom, so 4 atom plus 1 lone pair, total 5, so Cn is 5, so definitely hybridization is sp3d. So student, you have to test yourself question whether you realize the trick or not. NH3, XeF4 and XeOF4. As I told earlier, that hybridization is one of the most excellent and interesting area of chemical bonding, and I think I will represent you very systematically and very simply. So enjoy the concept of hybridization. Thank you.